Nostalgia is one of the worst aspects of the human condition. Our memories of the past keep us from enjoying the fruits of the future. Music, games, books, movies. They have all improved over the years, and yet our memories of the past keep us from enjoying them. We still say that the Beatles are somehow relevant when they are vastly inferior to all modern-day musicians. We often look at shows like Star Trek Deep Space Nine and say they are vastly superior to the modern-day Star Trek Discovery, when in fact, Deep Space Nine has aged so poorly that it's practically unwatchable. And as far as games go, the legendary Doom 1993 has had its day. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a look at why Doom 2016 is superior to Doom 1993. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Doom 1993 has had its day. In the 1990s, it was indeed one of the best first-person shooters of all time. But since then, well, it lacks so many important features that we really do take for granted today. Like the 1911 A1, it certainly got the ball rolling for much better designs down the road. And today, we gotta jump right in and actually dispel some of the myths that keep 30-something gamers holding it up as some sort of paragon of greatness, just like the 60-something shooters that like to hold up the 1911 as still being somehow perfection. Look at these graphics. Seriously, lads and lasses, this is supposed to look good? This game isn't even 3D. It's a lie. It's just 2D sprites. And what sprites they are! They look like crap. Look at that imp. It looks like something out of a cartoon. The zombie men look like crap too, and they have limited animation frames, and they have poorly designed hair. The level textures don't look any better, and the levels just make no sense at all. This is less like a building and more like some random jumbled ideas of a madman. If you can call them that. Let's do some weapon reviews. The weapons in the game are complete and utter garbage. The pistol's too weak, and the shotgun is too powerful, and the rest just blur into vague memories. The sound is by far the worst. Just listen to the sound of the shotgun. Grates the ears. What did they do? Record that off of a tube TV? Oh man, that music, lads and lasses. That music. I mean, I guess for the time it sounded okay, but by modern standards, it's just terrible. Not only is it MIDI, which never sounded good even back in the day, it's just MIDI renditions of 90s pop. Really? How out of date can you get? Alice in Chains? Come on, Granddad. Music like that went out with the bloody floppy disk. Oh yeah, controls, if you can call them that. I almost forgot. The game used primeval controls back in the day. The arrow keys. Who thought that was a good idea? Today, of course, we can use WSAD controls. But, you know, who wants to use that when you can use a perfectly good controller? And you know what? This game is so primitive, so basic, that you cannot instantly swap between the two like it was a Bethesda game or something. The story for the game is pretty bad too. You just get dropped into the game in media res, with no clue as to what you're doing or who you are fighting. What if you're really, you know, the bad guy and the demons are really the heroes? You wouldn't know because the game does not tell you. But that's not the worst part. The levels are designed in such a way that you can actually avoid fighting and run to the exit. I thought this was supposed to be some kind of, you know, first-person shooter, not some kind of first-person running game. I mean, really, why have it be that you can just run past enemies that really just, you know, it takes all the fun out of it? The game also makes things way too easy by ensuring that you can save anywhere you bloody well please. I prefer checkpoints because hitting F5 is just too much trouble. When playing a game, I shouldn't even have to look at a keyboard. And also, the health system is just idiotic at best. You pick up these Band-Aid boxes, and like that somehow makes you feel better. I mean, who thought that was a good idea? Ugh, 90s. Alright, I've had enough of that dinosaur game. Let's look at Doom 2016. Now here is a real game. Instead of some kind of abstract graph paper graphics, you instead have real 3D graphics that actually look like what they're supposed to look like. The levels are now much more realistic. The textures actually look like they are supposed to represent. The gameplay is far, far better as well. Instead of mindless shooting, you now have to alternate between shooting and using the absolutely magnificent glory kill system. No more do you have to hunt down rare health packs. Now you get to beat health out of enemies. It's so epically awesome. The enemies now look like, well, enemies instead of just a mass of pixels. The imp now looks really scary, and the zombie men look like real enemies. The speed has been tweaked so that you don't run too fast, like in Doom Crap Edition, and now the gameplay ensures that you can not just run away from enemies. Really, who thought that was a good idea? I mean, who approved of that idea? Now you get locked into a room and you must fight all the enemies before you can progress, thus ensuring that you get good or go home. Now I, for one, love arenas. They serve as a true test of gaming skill. No more do you have to hit the F5 key. Instead, you have automatic checkpoints that ensure that you never have to worry about saving. Sure, sometimes they are few and far between, and sure, sometimes you have to watch the same cutscene over and over again, but that's the game just teaching you how to be a better player. Weapons for the game are far superior as well, with the shotgun sounding like a real gun. And you actually have a weapons upgrade system, which makes the game that much more satisfying to play. Music is also way better as well, with the tracks actually being, you know, modern and not some dinosaur 90s rock. Now we have right and proper dubstep, as is the style at the time. Just have a listen. Ah, much better. No Alice in Chains here. The game? It actually has a story. What a concept, I know. Here we have actual characters and plot points, and Dr. Hayden actually sounds like Optimus Prime and is the leader of the game, and he ensures that the somewhat angry Doomslayer stays on mission. In conclusion, Doom 2016 is vastly superior to Doom 1993. It has all the great gameplay that one would expect from a modern game, and none of those primitive, primeval dinosaur deficiencies that you'd see in Doom 1993. And so, I'm General Lotz, wishing you good Call of Duty Ghosts, and good Battlefield 1, or whatever makes you happy. And if you thought this was a real video, you might be a fool. An April Fool, if you will! If one happened to enjoy this April Fool's special, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue to bring you these great videos for the foreseeable future.